very much. Let me first of all thank the President for the trust, and to members of the National Assembly also for the trust and confidence in me. You know, the National Assembly has three core functions: legislative, oversight, and representative. One of the greatest challenges we have in the Gambia, there is a lot of partisan politics in the operations of the National Assembly, to the extent that we compromise the supreme interest of the people. So my first task is to try and help reshape the mindset of members of the National Assembly, so that the Gambia, the people, takes the center stage in all what we do. The other thing is, for me, if you are elected from your various constituencies, yes, you represent them, but when you come to the National Assembly, that's why we call it the National Assembly, you deal with matters of the nation. In this circumstance, we should avoid using either our regional biases or our political biases to determine or let that be reflected in our decisions. More often than not, opposition political parties in Africa will always beat government to fail, even with whatever they do, so that the people will no longer support them and they will come back to the opposition. That trend is not progressive for me. That's why I believe that as an oversight institution, we must also help government with its progressive programs that is for the good of the people to succeed. Equal, we must not lose sight to ensure that our oversight functions in terms of government operations and expenditures are not mortgaged or compromised. In that way, I believe we'll be able to move this country for the good of the people we represent. So these are a few of many others, but these are core issues that I think probably interacting, talking, etc., will be able to see light and know what is best for this country.
You are a Marmite figure. Your nomination triggered kind of a controversy in the country. How do you work towards making sure that you have a unified National Assembly?
I don't, unless we go further to explain to me how...
Well, people said, considering your actions towards the government, you campaign against the draft constitution, you campaign for Jammeh's return, now you are in the National Assembly. They said you should not be in the National Assembly. You shouldn't be the Speaker of the National Assembly. What do you say to those people who said you oppose all those things?
I think why I'm nominated by the President is about competence, in my experience in National Assembly. Two, I have no regrets in for instance, campaigning against the draft constitution. I have no regrets. I have no qualms about coming up with a new constitution or amending the old constitution. No qualms. But the draft constitution up to today, if it comes as it was, I will do my best to go against it. Because for me, honestly and sincerely, it is not in the interest of the people of this country. There are a lot of clauses that we have petitioned the Constitutional Review Commission to review and give us feedback, which they did not. There are a lot of contradictions in the Constitution. There are a lot of plays that are aimed at strangulating leadership. Constitutions are not meant looking at individuals or groups so that it will suit those people. No. If the Constitution will ensure effective administration, democracy, and the constitutional law, we have no qualms. No qualms. But there are a lot more than that in the constitution. We goes to make it more. We goes to make it more less favorable to the people. So they have no qualms about that. About President Jammeh's issue, I have been an advocate since I became a parliamentarian in 1997. Go to my records, especially at the Pan-African Parliament, at ECOWAS Parliament. I said Africa must now revisit the way we treat our past presidents.
So you still stand by that?
I still stand by it. You know, we must draw a line. This revenge, you are in power, because whatever mistakes you make, I'm coming out for you to either humiliate you, send you into exile, or kill you, or jail you. And you get out, somebody else comes, the same thing. This vicious cycle will not end. Why can't we draw a line? Why can't we begin to respect? If I want to do that, let me be an example myself. If I become an example and leave office honorably, then you know others will follow. One of the reasons why leaders don't want to leave office is because as you leave, you are with content. You either go in exile, or you are in prison, or you are dead. So why don't we revisit it? It is just in the interest of a few at the expense of the electorates. The electorates, they can pardon. No government is perfect. Why should this be specific to Africa and Africa alone? So, me, I have been, and I still believe that. And I even said it. As regards the what was the other one you said?
I mean the draft constitution. You spoke about it. Now I'm talking about Jammeh now. So despite the strange relationship between you and Jammeh, you still want him to come back?
Yes, I still believe that we should give them. You see, what I believe is this is not about individuals. It's not about Jammeh per se. It's about any other president that may come. Let's begin to see how we see our presidents, how we respect them. You can make them accountable without humiliating them. You know, but let's try to revisit that. This will not help. This will not help. You see, even the commissions that came in, some of them are, you can read the lines. They are out to get him, to get some people. How can you behave that way and you want justice and you want stability in that country?
But who do you hold responsible for that? Because the commissions will do their job, and at the end of it, they will present their findings. They will present their findings to the president, and he decides who to punish and who not to punish. What do you say to that?
Yeah, but even the commission's operational mechanism should be visited. Qualified, independent people should be put into these commissions, not people who are out. Look at the TRRC. People who have been hunting, known hunting for Jammeh and his administration, they become members of the TRRC. Look at the issue of Alhaji research bad, Alhaji Barrow. Is it Barrow?
Well,
so what I'm saying is, I have said this over and over, we are not opposed to commission of inquiry. If you do good, or if you take responsibility, you must be accountable to it. But it should be done honestly and sincerely by honest, sincere, and independent people. This is what is missing. This is what is missing. Yes, all reports go to the presidency, government, for government to come out with a white paper. Yeah, that's fine. Government will make a determination. But even there is not final. The people still have a right to resort to courts.
Finally, you oppose Barrow when he won the election. You are here today as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Did you in any way regret those past actions?
No, you see, I have lived a life that, in my opinion, I've lived a life that I'm always dictated by my conscience. You know, I opposed to Barrow. Barrow came. I never even opposed Barrow. Barrow opposed me whilst I was in government. They came and opposed us, and they won the elections. The bad side of that election was, why we are really not left to resort to courts for determination, as has happened in other cases to now.
But let me interrupt you there. But that happened because they said Jammeh should have stepped aside and allowed the court case because Nigeria and other...
That is not the law.
Well, because we don't have Supreme Court judges at the time. They say he should step aside.
No, that's also not true. I was here. I was beginning to tell you that that's also not true. Okay. That is what they said. They said we don't have judges. We produced documents 8 months, 9 months earlier. It was produced. We had 5 of them. One was here, who was the Chief Justice, 3 from Nigeria, and 1 from Sierra Leone. What was easier than bringing those judges to come and make a determination than to bring in arms from all over the world to come and attack the Gambia?
Well, those countries at the time said they have cases that the judges are adjudicating in their own countries.
To be honest, let's be honest to you. Yeah, so even that is just, you can only say that to somebody who lives in the bush. Because a country is going into flames. Elections are done. A determination of a case will take not less than 3 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. You cannot bring those judges, and there are other judges that can perform the functions. But you can go and amass weapons and then come and attack the country. Look, this is not true. This is our constitutional mandate, our requirement. We have a right to resort to court even if the elections were fair. So why can't people not do that? Because they want Gambia out. So these are obvious facts. So for President Barrow, you see, I have not known President Barrow. He came as an opposition. They won. And in fact, I was not against him as Barrow. I was against his government, to be honest. There were things that had happened under his administration that I had opposed. That's true. But when I came closer to Barrow, I have seen that Barrow is a different person that my perception changed. It is important to note that leaders are made by those who surround him. So, and in the name of reconciliation, in the name of reconciliation and stability of the country, in the name of progress, we thought it fitting that we can support him. We had options. But to be honest, the best option was for President Barrow. That's the NPP. And we went out for it. We went out for it. And then we fell out with Yahya Jammeh. But we continue. It's a principle. It's not because of Fabakary or any other. And I've said this since we took over. I have said this, that we are an opposition with a difference. You have seen the lifestyle of oppositions over the years before us. But when we came in, we never went into all those things. Every small thing is demonstration, destroying property, etc. We have not done that. With all what happened to us, our people were shot to death.
So do you believe that 2016 election, Barrow won on a clean slate?
No. So far, did you 2016?
Yes, 2016 presidential election.
2016. I still maintain that the refusal of the government then and the international players, their refusal signifies to me that definitely there was foul play. That's what I still believe. 2017.
2016.
2016, yes, I still believe that. And that's why they never wanted us to go to court. It was manipulated, and we know a lot more now than before. But that's politics. Does not prevent us from moving forward.
So now the enemy is not permanent enemy, no permanent friends, but permanent interest is what is at work now between you and Barrow, since he decided to reward you and a couple of people from the APRC and more coming in the near future.
I don't call it a reward.
Okay.
I think Barrow feels that I am competent to run the institution for him. I'm not a member of the NPP, and Parliament is a very important institution, arm of government. Look at its functions, legislation and oversight, key among those ones. But he entrusted to me. But you see, I am one player, and I've said this, and you people will begin to realize that what I say is what I believe in is what I do. I will never undermine his government. I will do whatever is necessary to make sure his progressive programs for the betterment of the people are carried out. But we will not relax in our oversight. we will make sure that we are a watchdog that will ensure that public funds are spent well for the good of the people, and people are held accountable for their performances and responsibilities. And that's what Barrow wants. That's what every government wants. Government is composed of many, but what is interesting is there are some who deliberately will put hurdles for their personal, because of their personal interest at the expense of the people. That we cannot tolerate.
You are presiding over a parliament that is highly divided from different political parties, from and independent candidates. What role will you play in making sure that the most important things are not derailed in the process?
Yeah, you see, looking at comments and even views of some of these independent and other political parties, it sometimes baffles me, because what I do know is they are all representing people based on trust. Whether I like it or not, each of the members elected, we are elected by their people. But I also believe that the people that elected them believe that when they come here, it will be peace, progress, and prosperity for those people. No consequence of electorate would have elected anybody who will only come here just to fight and shout and not be able to have the people's interests at heart. So for me, good is always good, bad is always bad. Why should there be that much difference in our opinion? That's why I said we must put away partisan and regional politics in the administration of the National Assembly.
So if I hear you well, you won't be a stooge for President Barrow?
Not for anybody except Allah. I have never been and I will never be. You people who don't know me. I have an opinion. I said I am always a loyalist. You cannot suppress my opinion. I don't undermine, but I don't agree to everything. I always have to express my opinion. But I don't undermine. And I believe that any leader, whether your administration is progressive or not, as long as Allah wills, if Allah said you will be there for 2 terms, you will only be there for 2 terms. Nobody can prevent that.
Let me interrupt you. You said you are a loyalist. If what you said is the case, why didn't you then stick with Jammeh when he changed his mind and said no alliance with Barrow?
But I'm saying that being a loyalist does not mean that even if it is wrong, you'll be loyal. Okay. No, a loyalist means on the part that we have agreed that we come together, yes, I'm a loyalist. During the process, I can disagree with you. To be loyal does not mean everything good or bad is that. That's not loyalist. I believe that everything being good and going normal, I will never undermine, I will always be loyal to you. But I will also be able to express an opinion on issues. And if my conscience is not clear about anything, I reserve the right to go out.
Your friend become your enemy. Or let me put it this way: your enemy, once you consider as a political opponent, become your friend. One who entrusts with the leadership of the APRC, become the relationship is not wholehearted. That is Yahya Jammeh. Now, how do you reconcile these two now? The relationship with Barrow was not wholehearted. Now you're going to bed with Barrow, but Jammeh, you decided to break away now. So now, how do you reconcile these two?
No, I did not decide to break away from Barrow, from Jammeh. Jammeh decided to break away from us.
Okay.
All right. 1. 2. For Barrow, as I said, I have told you, Barrow has never been my enemy. He had been a political opponent. Okay. He belonged to a political party. Barrow was part of UDP. He broke away with UDP. So what, and you said it here, there's this dictum that there is no permanent enemies
or friends, but interest.
Yeah, but interest.
Right.
All right. But you see, to be honest, my view of President Barrow, if you assess him from outside, if you come to interact with him, your assessment or your view of him would be. My short interactions a year or so with Barrow, and my opinion prior to my interactions with him are far different. I had no close contact. I was basically relying on hearsay and what the few that I can gather from people like you, journalists, and all these things, and therefore form an opinion. But go closer to the man, interact with him, discuss with him. You begin to have a different view of God.
Finally.
I respect him very much.
Finally.
Finally, I want to thank everybody. I want to assure all Gambians that my leadership in the National Assembly will be dictated by their supreme interests at all times. As a human being, I may have my own weaknesses and lapses, but I'll just be called human error. Two, I will not go, I'm not out for any witch hunting. I want to believe that if you want to be progressive, people must be innovative. And if people are innovative, they are bound to make errors on the way. Those are not punishable. Those mistakes, you learn from them. The punishable ones are those that deliberately and they calculated to do something for their selfish interests at the expense of the people. We must be able to differentiate these things. And the other thing is, I will always give an honest advice whenever I do so to anybody, to President Barrow or anybody. Because for me, the greatest legacy you can leave is to impact positively on the lives of the people.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.